When I first got my Vitas Mythique VR, I was hounded by people saying that I should have got the well-equipped VRX model, but I just wasn't comfortable dropping $2,200 all at the same time. So it got me thinking, how can I make this bike as good as, if not better than the VRX model, but for cheaper? Then I stumbled across these used 2020 Marzocchi Bomber Z2 forks, and they're the same exact forks that are on the VRX model. I was able to talk the guy down from $400, and I picked these forks up for $300. The guy selling them said that the rebound knob was missing, but that was the only thing that was wrong with the forks. When I met up with him, I could tell that both dust wipers were leaking oil, but I was already planning on servicing the lowers. But the real problem is these forks are 130 millimeters, and I want them to be 140 millimeters, just like the VRX has. Also, I need to figure out how to fix the leaking oil on the forks. I'm basically about to conduct a full-on surgery on this bike, so I think I need to dress for the part. Have I done this before? Nope. Can I do this? I'm not sure. So in this video, I'm gonna be converting these forks to 140 millimeters travel and servicing the lowers. Let's operate. The cool thing about these forks is that they are basically a budget version of the Fox 34 fork. They have 34 millimeter stanchions, but with cheaper and heavier 6000 series aluminum, and they're obviously missing the Kashima coating. They're missing the high and low speed compression damper. Lucky for me, they use the same air shaft, the dust wipers, and the same oils as the Fox forks. Sid and Mackie actually just posted a video on how to adjust the travel on a Fox 34, so I'm going to be following their video and also the instructions on the Fox website, and I'll put a link to both in the description below. In order to convert these forks to 140 millimeters travel, I'm gonna need an air shaft, and I'm gonna service the lowers at the same time because it's basically the same process. I picked up the air shaft and this dust wiper kit off Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description below. Also, I'm gonna use some Fox 20 weight gold fork oil, and I also picked that up off Amazon. Well, the fork conversion is done, and I actually thought that was pretty dang easy. If I could rate the difficulty on this project on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate this out of 5. All it was following simple directions and turned out pretty good. Now I'm just gonna cut the steer tube and install these forks. actually done 3 rides on the Marzocchi Bomber forks, and what an upgrade. The bike actually handles a lot better now, and it doesn't feel like it gets overwhelmed like it used to. These forks just handle every bump and just make everything so subtle on the bike. The biggest thing for me is actually the small bump compliance, and I'm not feeling a lot of the chatter on the trail up into my hands. With the longer travel forks, it actually slackened out the head tube a little bit, which is now 66 degrees and it used to be 65.5. So let's go over the cost of the bike. Before this video, I had spent $1,737 on this bike, which includes a first round of upgrades. The Marzocchi Bomber fork was $300, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to sell the X Fusion RC32 forks that came with this bike, and I'm gonna try to sell them for $200. The air shaft was $35, and the dust wiper kit was $30. That brings me to a total of $1,902, which is still substantially cheaper than the VRX. There's still a couple things that I need to do to catch this bike up to a VRX, one of those being the rear shock. And I have something big planned next week with the rear shock. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.